So again, it's the why piece.
Yeah, so Ricardo, I totally agree that the why is the big part of this, and there's several reasons that we need to do this. One is that there's money tied to it, and I hate to have money drive things, but we do have Measure 98, and we have a focus around career and technical education, and so that is one aspect of why we're doing this. Another aspect, and for me, which is much more important, is creating a relevant school environment for every kid that goes to school here. I think that all kids should understand why they're learning what they're learning, and if they do that, then their learning is much more powerful. It's not something that's being done to them, but it's something that they can be an active part in doing. And to me, that's really why I learn. I don't learn because someone told me to. I do it because I want to, because it's good for me. And ultimately, if we look at outcomes, and that's really a big part of our job, and we ask ourselves why only 25% of our kids go on to secondary education, post-secondary education, go on to college, a big reason for that is because kids don't know what they want to do. They don't know what their future is. And I think the things that we're doing in advisory right now will help students better understand who they are and what they want to become.
All right.
So, Ricardo, thank you so much for helping me with this. I know over the summer we met with Stina and Jerry Ann and Chris and Garrett and Carmen, and we all decided that we needed to make some changes for advisories. So one of the things that we talked about was how in the world could we have kids use computers and everybody get on at one time. And so this is a trial run Thursday and Friday. We're going to set it up so that a third of the teachers use computers on Thursday and 2/3 of the teachers use computers on Friday, to see if we can ultimately get to the point where we could use advisory to really do some solid research, and then eventually get away from the notebooks that we have in everybody's classrooms. We could eventually get away from those notebooks and do everything online. So by the time they're seniors, everything's within a profile that they can take with them.
That would be nice, so I don't have to try to hide notebooks and keep them locked up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that piece we can talk about in a minute.
Okay.
But for Thursday and Friday, and everybody has their lesson plans, what we'll do...
But this is for sophomores, juniors, and seniors.
Exactly.
Okay.
Freshmen are going to do something a little bit different.
Okay, so we're talking about sophomore, juniors, and seniors now. Okay.
Yep. So those students will start with, the inventory.
Okay.
Did your kids finish the inventory?
They did not finish. My students got just barely kind of going, maybe 2 or 3 pages into it.
And that's okay. Let's not rush them.
Okay.
This is important, so let's not rush them. Once they finish the survey, they can pick 3 careers that they come up with that they're interested in. And then those teachers that are not using computers that first day, they'll use the career booklet.
Okay.
And you remember we've used this in the past.
Yep.
And remember in the back, it'll show how much education it takes for certain careers, if it's an apprenticeship program, a state licensure program, how much they earn. So they can use this to get some of the information.
Okay.
And then they'll use our new career student worksheet
Okay.
to start filling out and picking 3 careers in each area.
Okay. So when they're doing research, the research is going to give them the 3 jobs that's going to go in their career tree. That goes back into the binder.
Yep.
Okay. And they're not taking any other information down about the jobs. They're just researching it. They're not having to write down.
No,
Okay.
Exactly. Except under lifestyle,
Okay.
they could jot some notes under lifestyle and say, okay, this takes 2 years to complete or 4 years to complete, or this job I can start at 70,000, or this job maybe I'm only starting at 30.
Okay.
So under lifestyle, they can jot some of those.
Okay.
And then the second day on Friday, and it'll be vice versa for those people that use computers first, they will get on CIS and do a little more thorough research. And part of that, on the second page here, these are all the things they can look up on CIS. So, and you've used,
Yep. All the time. Yep.
yeah, so they can look at working conditions, interests, all those things.
Okay.
There's also, I wanted staff to know, there's 2 other, you remember under occupations, they can look at the military and then STEM occupations?
Yes.
So that would be a great place for students to go in and look at particular areas that they're interested in there.
Okay. So either one day that my students are utilizing career booklet, or we're in the computer lab and they're able to do it in the computers.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
And then by the end of Friday, 3 jobs, and all materials go back into their binder.
Exactly.
Got it.
The last thing that 10th and 11th grade teachers will do is they're going to hand out the PSAT booklets.
Okay.
So all juniors that paid for the PSAT during registration, they will get a booklet to prepare for, and all 10th graders will get a booklet. Those students that didn't pay for the PSAT during registration, they're going to be upstairs in the library taking the ASVAB
Okay.
next Wednesday.
On the PSAT day. Okay.
And we're not doing review and advisory at all. The language arts and math teachers have graciously said they would help review in their classes.
Okay.
Okay, the only other change is that with 9th graders, they are going to do the interest survey. They'll use the booklets, but we're not going to have them use computers because we don't yet have enough computers for everybody. So they will do their computer activity next Wednesday
Okay.
on testing day. So really, Thursday and Friday, it's a great time for 9th grade advisory teachers to get to know their students. And there's some prompts and activities in their lesson plans to get going on that. And they have all new notebooks ready
But
to
are
go.
they also going to have this career booklet? So they could be doing the survey, start looking at the career booklets?
Exactly.
Okay.
And they'll have the worksheets. So 9th graders can,
So we're still doing all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that I got a box of binders for
Mm-hmm.
my freshmen. So are we allowing them to personalize those or whatever and then storing them?
you know, if they could personalize the paper that slips into the front, that would be great.
So we can use them.
I'm really hoping we can get away from the binders just because of the expense of those. But for right now, we just have to use them.
Okay.
So you'll notice some of the binders are new and some are reused.
Okay.
So
So the only question I would have maybe if I was a teacher would be for sophomores for the PSAT day. Just to clarify again, they're going to have an additional booklet that they need to, that helps to prepare them, or that they're filling information out, or what's in that again?
So they won't fill any information out. It's just a study guide that all 10th graders will have. They all filled out their registration forms in social studies, which was really helpful because it takes them a little bit longer to do the bubbling.
Right.
So Thomas had all of his 10th graders, and I think Sheila had her language arts 10th graders pre-bubble. Their little study guide students can use if they want to look it over so they have a better idea of what will take place next Wednesday. And then 11th graders, those staff will only hand out the booklets to those students that paid, and they'll have that highlighted on their attendance sheet.
Okay.
So here's the plan for next week's testing day. That will be on Wednesday, October 11th. 9th graders will do something a little bit different. They will start in their advisory classrooms, and for the first 30 minutes, they're going to finish watching the presentation of our handbook that we did on the first day. I know most 9th grade teachers, advisory teachers, weren't able to get through. And then we will have a series of 4 career presenters in each advisory, 9th grade advisory classroom. And you'll actually get a copy of that rotation on Monday, so you'll know who will be in your classrooms for what periods. And then at the end of those presenters, you'll return to your room, debrief those presentations, and then have your students use computers to complete the career tree that we started this Thursday and Friday. And then at 11:15, all 9th graders will walk down to the gym and they'll have a large class meeting for the last 30 minutes of our testing day.
Perfect. So on our day of testing, all 10th graders and those juniors that paid for the PSAT at registration will be taking the PSAT. So they'll stay in your room. Those juniors that did not pay for the PSAT will go to the library where they'll take the ASVAB. Okay, if you're putting in the PSAT, please look over those supervisor instruction booklet very carefully, and pages will have been marked and highlighted by the counselors. All the supplies that you'll need, pencils, tests, answer sheets, will all be in your room on that morning. You can feel free to bring snacks if you'd like for your students. They'd love that. And remember that students will need to remain in their classroom until 11:45. That's even if they finish early. So we probably want to remind students to bring a book or something else that they can do if they have extra time. Once all the students are finished testing, bring your answer sheets, test booklets, seating charts, pencils, all of those materials down to the counseling conference room before going to lunch, because all those materials need to be turned in by 1 o'clock.
And for the seniors, all seniors will be taking a tour to either LCC or the University of Oregon. So in the morning, please take attendance and then walk your students down to the buses. There'll be 2 buses. Actually, there'll be 4 buses, 2 going to LCC, 2 going to U of O. And we will have the students highlighted on your attendance sheets which school they're going to, and we'll get you the phone numbers and contacts of anyone you need to contact at those schools.
So if you have any questions about the day of testing, feel free to come down, talk to Mr. Basting, talk to Miss Evans, or you can talk to me and then I'll talk to them and then get you the answer that you need. Looking forward to a great day of testing.